When I think of Wadie Deddeh, I think about the American flag.
That probably know more about America and the United States than most Americans do.
He was, he was someone with a little bit of a different name, and Wadie Deddeh, just like, what's a Wadie Deddeh? What's that name? What does it mean?
Is it a new flavor of ice cream? And is it a new type of clothing?
Wadie was the first Iraqi ever elected to an elective office in the United States.
He was responsible for the legislation which essentially created what became Caltrans.
But we're going to miss your friendship, your great contribution to the Senate and the Assembly and to the state of California.
I mean, it's a story that we need to tell. It's an American story. It's the American dream.
Wadie and I ran for the Assembly at the same time. I for the 76th district and he for the 77th. And we met shortly after we had both been elected. And then we, of course, arrived in Sacramento in time for the new legislative session in January of 1967.
He started at a time where there were some major figures that came into the legislature. If you look back in '67, I mean, his classmates were Ronald Reagan, basically, as governor, and then moving on to Pete Wilson, who was there, and folks that moved into greater positions within the state and even nationally in the country. He came in with some real-world experience. He was an immigrant. He came here idolizing what America stood for, and he came here and he experienced it firsthand in the opportunity that it gave him.
Before he was in government, he taught it. He was passionate about the subject that he was teaching. He was really passionate about American government and really about America. And to me, Wadie is living, eloquent proof that those who are not born to the freedom and opportunity of America have, as immigrants to this nation, a much better understanding and a keener sense of the value of what is our birthright than many who just take it for granted.
I think people in the legislature knew Wadie as Wadie. I don't think they related to him as born in Iraq or Chaldean or Christian that, came from Iraq. But he was I know that Wadie was very proud of his Chaldean heritage.
We are here to celebrate what I believe is something of a once-in-a-lifetime happening for all of us. And it's also, I know, a once-in-a-lifetime situation for former Senator Wadie Deddeh. The building is being named for him, and the reason for that, if you don't know that, is that he's the father of Caltrans.
I stand before you as a very proud American. I stand before you also as a very proud Chaldean. Our first wave of Chaldeans came to this country almost about 100 years ago. With faith in God, they couldn't speak a word of English, they couldn't read or write, but they had a determination and commitment for their families. They worked hard, 12 to 16 hours a day, 7 days a week. And they saved some money to send to the old country, a village called Tilkepe, from where every Chaldean has come from. Their children struggle. Their grandchildren, and they're here. Who are the grandchildren that are here? They're doctors, they're lawyers, they're scientists, they're professors. This is America. You can do whatever you want to do. As I go, and all of us will, I know that our great-grandchildren, as they pass, Wadie P. Deddeh, that's a Chaldean name, funny name. Yes, it is a funny name, as I was told when I ran for office. Wadie, change your name. I will not change my name. You vote for me as Wadie P. Deddeh, or you don't vote for me. And I stuck by my tradition, by my custom, by my faith, by my heritage. And if you deny your heritage, If you ever deny your heritage, you have nothing to hang on. May God bless this great land of ours, the United States of America. Thank you very much.
He was known as a statesman, and that's a word you don't hear nowadays in partisan politics. Being in office for 27 years, you know, over a quarter of a century, is very telling of how great this man really is.
John, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Take care.
Well, I wish there were more now like you, Wadie.
Thank you.